Hi everyone, so today I'm going to make a In Bed Worm Composter. I'm just going to use a food grade bin. How you know that it's food grade is going to have this triangle with a 2 in it, and that means that it is safe for, you can get these at hardware stores or really anything. Just make sure whatever material is in it, ideally you get a clean one, but if it was used for something, you want to make sure that it wasn't used for chemicals, because the chemicals will still be inside. And so how we go about doing this is I'm going to drill a hole out of the top. You can cut the whole thing out. I don't usually, because it's nice to be able to like pick this up out of the garden bed and then be able to use it like to empty the compost around the bin and then put it back in the bed. So anyways, we'll get going on it and show you what I do. And now that we have all the holes drilled out, our bucket is ready to go into the bed. So how I like to start is to push the bucket down so that I get the right circumference and the right spot of where I want it to go before I start digging it out. You want to dig this hole deep enough that you cover most of the bucket, but you also leave space for one ring of air holes around the top. This helps the worms to have oxygen flow, and it just keeps your worm bucket from going anaerobic. As you maybe have noticed, I'm putting this into my strawberry bed. I really like to incorporate the worm composting in ground beds into my perennial beds. This gives it the advantage of giving it constant nitrogen and nutrients, because the worms will go in and eat food, but then they'll also leave. And when they leave the bucket and go through the garden bed, they're leaving those worm castings along the way. So now that I have it in, I'm going to put a little bit of composted wood chips and dirt inside. This just leaves a nice bedding to get started for the worms. When you're backfilling, you really want to make sure that you're pushing the dirt back in and compacting it so that the worms have a nice even layer of dirt without too many air holes to be moving in and out of that bed. And then I'm going to grab some brown paper, shred it up. This is just added bedding for them and a little bit of browns to soak up the excess moisture from the compost that I'll put in, or the food scraps I'll put in later. One thing is later that you don't see in this video, I do water that down. You want whatever browns you put in, especially the bedding for the worms, to be moist so that when they are ready to start moving in, they have somewhere soft with water and oxygen to get to. And finally, I want to add a lid. I didn't have the bucket lid for this one, so I just put 2 pieces of wood and a rock over top. A sealed lid would be even better.